Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to another installment of the Now Review. And this time we've got another yearbook to take a look at today. Another bit of a jumpy one. You know, Now doesn't like to do things in a chronological order necessarily. It went forwards, then backwards, then forwards again, then backwards. And we're jumping a couple years. So the earliest yearbook we had before was 1978, but now we're going back to 1973. So join me as we take a look at the special edition 4 CD and the 3 vinyl LP of Now Yearbook 73. So yeah, a bit of left field that they jumped straight to this one, you know, between 78 and 73. There's a lot of good music there, but of course they did do this between Yearbook 86 and Yearbook 92, so you'd like to think all the gaps are going to get filled in eventually, and to be honest, I think it's quite a nice surprise that we do jump years from time to time, sort of keeps us on our toes and keeps us guessing what they're going to do next. As ever, before we get into it, I'm looking at 2 variants of this. There is a third, which is the standard edition 4 CD. That just comes in the normal cardboard case. That retails for the normal price that the other spin-offs release for. But I like to get the special edition CD for a few different reasons. Most of you know by now, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's take a look at it. Well, the cover, as you can see, they always like to go for one main colour. And this time, it's this lovely bright red. Similar in a way to what happened with Now Yearbook 81, that was presented in a red. This one has the gradient effect that a lot of the more recent yearbooks have been employing. You can see here the clear lines, so at the top it is like the most bright red, and then it gets darker and darker and darker, and before you know it, you get to the bottom of the album, it's a slightly darker tone. I always quite like that. Again, nice little bit of variety. It's very appealing on the eye, and it'll look nice on the shelf, you know, all these uniform colours. The Now logo itself, it's still adopting the 70s style. The word yearbook is the most 70s font in the world. I know I say that each time, but it's true. And I like how this time it's silver with it's a mixture of red and gold sheen, and the star just feels very 70s. I feel like that's very glam, that's very disco, very encompassing of the era. So yeah, very happy with that there. You can see on the spine that this, like all the special edition CDs, is styled more like a hardcover book, or it has an actual proper spine. That's really nice. That's one reason why I like to get this, just a bit more of a sturdy case. But let's flip it on over and take a look at the all-important track list. So, 1973, CD1, we're kicking off with Elton John and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, one of his best songs, one of my favourite songs of his, and a great way to open this album. You have Paul McCartney and Wings with Live and Let Die. Of course, the song of the same name was used for the James Bond film. You have Slade with Come On Feel the Noise, great song from them. T-Rex with 20th Century Boy. Sweet and Blockbuster. God, 1973 is coming out with hits swinging at the minute. Mud and Dynamite, another excellent song. Suzi Quatro with Can the Can. Wizard with See My Baby Jive. Alvin Stardust with My Cuckoo. 10cc and Rubber Bullets. Gilbert O'Sullivan with Get Down. David Bowie's on here with The Laughing Gnome. Jackson 5 with Doctor My Eyes, which was, I think, more of a hit over here in the UK. Very strong song from the group. Limmy and Family Cooking with You Can Do Magic. The Osmonds with Let Me In. The OJs with Love Train, great song. First Choice with Smarty Pants. The Spinners with Could It Be I'm Falling in Love, another excellent song. Rod Stewart with Oh No, Not My Baby. Aretha Franklin with Angel. And Gladys Knight and the Pips with Help Me Make It Through the Night. So 21 tracks on CD1 there. A lot of great pop tunes to start with. CD2 kicks off with John Lennon and Mind Games. Bruce Springsteen with Blinded by the Light, one of his earliest hits, I believe. Billy Joel with Piano Man. You'll hear that in a lot of pubs, usually sung by a lot of drunk people. Bob Dylan with Knocking on Heaven's Door. Was that really 73? I thought that was an earlier hit for him, or maybe it came back in the charts. Carly Simon with You're So Vain. Paul Simon with Take Me to the Mardi Gras. Steelers Wheel with Stuck in the Middle with You, famously revived in the film Reservoir Dogs. Faces with Cindy Incidentally. Ike and Tina Turner with Nutbush City Limits. Joe Walsh with Rocky Mountain Way. The Electric Light Orchestra with Roll Over Beethoven. Thin Lizzy and Whiskey in the Jar. Free with Wishing Well. Nazareth with This Flight Tonight. Status Quo and Caroline. Alice Cooper with No More Mr. Nice Guy. Brian Ferry and A Hard Rains Are Gonna Fall. Mungo Jerry with Alright, 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 their biggest song being In the Summertime. Dave Edmunds with Born to Be With You. Clifford T. Ward with Gay. And Fleetwood Mac with Albatross. Again, was that 73? I always thought that was earlier. The more you know, eh? Another 21 tracks there, so we're on 42. Let's mosey on over to CD 3. We have Paul McCartney and Wings with My Love. Roberta Flack with Killing Me Softly with his song, which is a beautiful track. Kiki D with Amorius, is that how you say it? Probably saying that wrong. Elvis Presley's on here, would you believe, with his version of Always on My Mind. Great interpretation. Diana Ross with Touch Me in the Morning. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes feat Teddy Pendergrass with If You Don't Know Me By Now, one of the most gut-wrenching, brilliant ballads of the 70s, if you ask me. Billy Paul with Me and Mrs. Jones, equally great banger there. Marvin Gaye with Let's Get It On. Barry White and I'm Gonna Love You Just a Little Bit More, Baby. Detroit Emeralds with Feel the Need in Me. The Isley Brothers with That Lady Part 1. The Temptations with Papa Was a Rolling Stone, one of their best tracks for sure. Diodato with Also Sprach Zarathustra. And I'm probably butchering that as well. Michael Jackson here with Morning Glow. Very interesting because that's from his Music and Me album, I believe. And I don't know if that was a big hit here in the UK. He was still a young lad at the time. But yeah, very interesting that that's here. Jimmy Helms with Gonna Make You an Offer You Can't Refuse. The Drifters with Like Sister and Brother. Junior Campbell with Sweet Illusion. Medicine Head with One and One is One. The Hot Shots with Snoopy versus the Red Baron. And Straubs with Part of the Union. So I do like that track. So 20 there, so we are on, what are we on, 62? Last CD then, CD4, we have Sweet and the Ballroom Blitz. Great way to open a CD. Suzi Quatro again with 48 Crash. Mott the Hoople with Roll Away the Stone. Roxy Music with Street Life. David Essex and Rock On. Mud with Crazy. Barry Blue with Dancing. Donny Osmond and Young Love. Dawn feat Tony Orlando with Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree. Olivia Newton-John with Take Me Home Country Roads. Yes, that Take Me Home Country Roads. Marie Osmond with Paper Roses. Peters and Lee with Welcome Home. Anne-Marie David with Wonderful Dream. Was that the Eurovision winner that year? Memory's getting hazy. I know that name. Part of me thinks that's a Eurovision winner. Cliff Richard with Power to All Our Friends, which was his Eurovision entry that year, mind you, so that makes me think Anne-Marie's was the winner. Shirley Bassey with Never, Never, Never. Bobby Goldsboro with Summer, the first time. Perry Como with Then I Love You So. Simon Park Orchestra with Eye Level, which is the theme from the TV series Van der Valk. Steel Eye Span and Gaudette. Wizard with I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. I'm sure you all know what that goes like. And we round off with Slade and their Christmas tune, Merry Christmas Everybody. 1973 was a bumper year for Christmas hits there, wasn't it? So in total there, folks, you have 83. That's 83 tracks across 4 discs. And wow, what a selection. We'll talk more about that in just a second. Let's open this up. First of all, I just want to show you what the discs look like here. As you can see, they go with like the covers. So CD1 is the brightest red, and as you move through the other remaining discs, you can see that the gradient of the colour gets darker and darker. CD4 is darker than the cover. That's verging into almost a different colour altogether, but that is the darkest shade of red employed there. Very nice, very nice. And because this is the special edition formatted like a book, the discs are actually housed in their own little pouches, and we get a bit of a booklet as well. Now, I always like the fact that these contain the booklets. It used to be a staple in now releases, isn't anymore, which is a shame. But I love how much detail there is in here. Like, to begin with, you've got a bit of like fact-finding on what actually happened in 1973 in the pop scene, the things that got big. You have information about each of the songs on here, like where they placed in the charts, when they placed in the charts during 1973. All that sort of stuff. So for someone like me who, you know, I love my facts and figures, as it were, I love delving into all of this stuff. So seeing this is always a really nice addition. And for me, it makes it worth the extra price to get it. So yes, there you go. That is all the information there. And we got the quiz. You gotta love the quiz. I love the quiz in these releases. Just a little brain teaser, little test your knowledge. And you get the images of like the single covers as well, which I always think is a nice little touch, especially when you go further back. You know, the records aren't always as detailed as we go further back in time. So it's great to see them displayed here. So that is the main bulk of the special edition release here. I just want to touch back on the track list. This is pretty stellar. This surprised me, I'm not going to lie. I've always been more of an 80s guy than a 70s guy, but just going through the tracks on the, you know, I know a lot of these, and so many of them are great. Like, you know, the first half of CD1, bangers all the way through, like, and some stuff on all the other discs. Like, this is, you got a lovely range as well of, like, the pop and glam rock, which was peaking at the time. You've got the balladry, like the R&B and soul stuff, like a lot of the stuff that's on disc 3, like the Howard Melvin and the Blue Notes, Billy Paul, Marvin Gaye, Barry White. There's just so much great R&B on here. So I think you actually get a lovely mix of genres on here, a true reflection of what was becoming popular back in 1973. In terms of where you can get this from, there's various places. I tend to get my Now albums from HMV. The price range for this varies between, I'd say, £15, £17 for the special edition, somewhere like that. So you are paying a little bit more, but I'd always argue that what you're getting is well worth it. But that's up for you to decide if you're bothered about having a booklet, a quiz, a harder cover, a sturdier cover even, you know, all that sort of stuff. But enough about the CDs. Let's now move on over, shall we, to the 3LP vinyl release. So, as always, they employ the same cover, just blown up, which is always great on vinyl, so you can see the lovely red shaded cover there. But we want to talk about the track list. As mentioned, this is 3 LPs. Not every song's going to make its way over here. In fact, 47 of them, as the description says, have made their way over to vinyl. So that is over half, which is a plus. Let's see what they've got on here. I'm going to breeze through these. So, on LP 1 side A, we have Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Live and Let Die, Come On Feel the Noise, 20th Century Boy, Blockbuster, Dynamite, See My Baby Jive, Rum Rubber Bullets. So that's 8 on LP 1 side A. On LP 1 side B, we have Mind Games, Blinded by the Light, Piano Man, You're So Vain, Take Me to the Mardi Gras, Stuck in the Middle with You, and Always on My Mind. So 15 in total on the first disc there. LP 2 side A, we have Killing Me Softly with His Song, Let's Get It On, If You Don't Know Me By Now, Could It Be I'm Falling in Love, Love Train, Papa Was a Rolling Stone, and Nutbush City Limits. That's another 7 tracks there. On LP2 side B, we have Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree, Get Down, Take Me Home Country Roads, Welcome Home, Eye Level, Never Never Never, Touch Me in the Morning, Me and Mrs. Jones, and Help Me Make It Through the Night. So that is 9, so 16 tracks on LP2. LP3 then, we have My Love, Amoreuse, I'm definitely saying that wrong, Albatross, Roll Over Beethoven, Whiskey in the Jar, Wishing Well, Cindy Incidentally, and Knocking on Heaven's Door. So 8 on that first side, which means on LP3 side B, we have The Ballroom Blitz, Can the Can, My Cuckoo, Roll Away the Stone, Street Life, Rock On, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, and Merry Christmas Everybody. So another 16. So as I said, 47 tracks in total. Very good for a 3LP vinyl release, I think, considering that's more than half of what the CD offers. I always like it when it pushes past that halfway margin. Let's just take a look at the discs. So all 3 discs are coloured the same. Sometimes they're different. It's the same, usually for the yearbooks. As you can see, we get a lovely bright red vinyl. And I mean, they often mimic the cover. I'm not exactly surprised this is what we've got. Again, this is very similar to what was presented with Now Yearbook 81 and Now Yearbook 83, funnily enough, the original version. Red's a great colour for vinyl, I think, especially when it's vibrant. So yeah, big fan of that. So in terms of this one, obviously this retails for a bit more. I'd say somewhere between £30 and £33 at most places. I got mine from HMV. The vinyls tend to be a bit rarer, or in the sense that they disappear more quickly. So if you're into your vinyl, you want to grab this, I'd recommend trying to get it straight away, maybe even before the CD stuff, because they might last around a little bit longer. In terms of if it's worth it, I definitely think for the yearbooks, this is one that is great value for money. Like, you know, you got 47 tracks here across 3 discs. And they've picked most of the... I mean, it's all personal taste, isn't it? But they've picked a lot of the songs that I really clicked with on the main CD. So really happy to see that they've made their way to the vinyl. But of course, the choice ultimately has to be yours. And yes, that is all for this installment of the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. It really does help us out. And let me know down in the comments below. Are you going to be picking up Now Yearbook 73? And if you are, what are you doing? Are you getting the standard CD? Are you getting the special edition? Are you getting the vinyl? Let me know all of that down in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, it really does help us out. I've been Adam Martin from AMTV Now. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time for another spin on the turntable.